Let me say good evening from here. It's 16 minutes past 10 p.m. here in Nigeria. And all my OGs, those who have been here from the beginning, I want to say thank you for encouraging me, for always being here. I couldn't be here yesterday. I have a lot of gist, guys. Yesterday, before this time, I had already passed out, like asleep, because I had to travel through cities 4 times, 4 times in 48 hours. It was crazy. I was on transit when I went live 2 nights ago, but yesterday, after the back and forth of the journey, I just couldn't make it. But today we are back. Yes. Thank you for holding on for me, for being amazing. And today has been so eventful and so fun, I must say, because today I also spoke, I did a keynote for an event, a writers community event. It was a sort of picnic. It was really fun, trust me. Even though I would have wanted to catch all the fun, but I couldn't because of time, but it was really, really worth my time. It was organized by an organization called Rightlyhood, in association with another corporate entity, but it was fun. I had to speak about how to upscale your income as a writer, and it was just mind-blowing. And it was just great for me. The high point for it was to see the amount of young people eager to learn, writing down stuff. They were between, say, 16 to about 25 plus, right? And it was just an event, and it was organized by one of them, somebody in their age group as well. So it was really, really eventful. I take it as a privilege to have been there. I've been speaking in the last 15, 16 years on platforms, but any platform to talk to young people is always a win-win for me. I'm trying to try my eye without my glasses to see how it fits. Like, see, my eyes are, oh my gosh. Does the eye get better when you wear lenses, or it get worse? Sometimes I'm afraid, like, can't I do without these glasses? But anyway, I was reading something, which is where I need my glasses. I had a topic in mind for this session, but because of the event I attended, but more so what I was reading, I thought like we needed to discuss this particular topic about storytelling. I want us to talk about storytelling more because it's something that I have struggled with in the last 15 years of being an influencer online. Telling stories has been, I wouldn't say difficult, it's been a sensitive thing to me. I don't know if it's because of my upbringing. I'm just not able to tell my story as it should be, if you get what I mean. And I know some people might be struggling with me as well. And I thought most of the successes I've had are the times that I went beyond myself and told the story about myself, about why I'm doing what I'm doing, about what's fueling my idea about something, and it's been very impactful, right? So I thought we can discuss this because learning to sell will make all the difference with your business in 2025 and upwards. Please, if you're watching and today is your first time, my name is Chisom Otibeaka, and this is my channel where we'll talk everything business, money, and opportunities from the point of view of what I do as a writer and a book editor and a publisher. But of course, it also cuts across everyone. And this is my 30 days live stream, 10 p.m. Nigerian time, throughout December, to try to share and interact with tools and people, sharing tools and strategies that will work going forward when it comes to business, and everything that is changing about business and how to get it right in the next few days in 2025. Of course, this is the best time to plan, right? So how to sell through storytelling is what we are talking about, how to turn stories into sales. So now, facts, they say, tell, but stories sell. Did you get that? Facts tell, but stories sell. I know how that can be so impacting. Today's session, let's talk about how storytelling as a marketing superpower, and how you can connect it to your audience, and also boost your tools. I'll mention we are going to also dive into something very important tomorrow. So you need to be on the live stream tomorrow, 10 p.m. Nigerian time, where we're going to be talking more about how to preserve your wealth and the money you're making, how to be more accountable really for yourself. But today we're talking storytelling. Now, the psychology behind storytelling is something I wanted to start with. I struggle with storytelling, not because I don't know the importance, but because, like I said, my hangers up, from my background as I grew up a very religious person. I grew up with a lot of restrictions, and it affected the way my mind works. So I was always struggling with what to tell and what not to tell. How far should I share? How more should I share? Frances, welcome to the live stream. Good to see you. Good to see you, Frances. Please, where are you watching from? Let me know. Okay, I did mention I'm streaming from Uyo in Nigeria, West Africa, right? So I'll teach you how to use storytelling as a marketing superpower. Now, I was talking about the psychology of stories. When people tell stories, even in classes, in everywhere, you remember them for a longer time because stories connect our emotions, connect to our values, connect to how we even trust people. They create trust that for us to have people. It also helps people because it makes people feel like, oh, I can identify myself in this person, and it makes people feel like they can finally confide in someone, or they have somebody that finally gets them. You know what I mean? Storytelling is so powerful. When you're able to put your personal stories, the journeys you've gone through in life in relation to what you're selling as your brand, your audience will feel connected to you and are more likely to hit you, or you're more likely to hit your trust factor because they get to know you better and they get to trust you, and it becomes easier for them to trust that whatever you're saying you can deliver, right? So let me use a quick example. Think about your favorite brand or influencer, anybody you know. The chances are there's something about them that you remember that makes them your favorite. There are stories that they've been sharing across reels, writing, videos, have made you to trust and support them. Think about it again. Whoever is your best influencer or your best or your favorite brand, think about them. Is the story about their brand and the emotional connection you have with them is the reason they're your favorite. Yeah. Now, how can you get that kind of effect around people? How do you get people to trust you, to like you, to follow you? How do you create cult-like following, right? Now, that's what we're going to look at because it's something that is very important. I have made a personal decision myself to work on my storytelling craft, come 2025 from now on. And so it's something I want you to come along with me. So how do you craft your story? First of all, share how far you've come. So that's the first stage. Weaving the incidences that have happened in your life, how you started what you're doing, the challenges you have faced while doing this thing you're doing, how you have been able to succeed, the factors that you think were contributory to your success. So you usually will understand that whenever people say things like, oh, I started this business XY years ago, and I started with just 50 naira or with just 200 naira from my mother's kitchen, assuming it's a food brand or something, people remember that for a longer time, right? Because it sounds like, oh, so it means I can start from where I am. So it means I can even start. Yeah, I had a space even bigger than my mom's kitchen. So it means I can leverage the same confidence that this person started with and start mine, right? Now, if you hear somebody say something like, even if it's a creative business, I started my business with 500 naira. If nobody wanted to support me, I faced a lot of rejection, but today I'm helping others to succeed because I've succeeded and I make 8 figures monthly, for instance. People will remember that for a long time because they are like, she must have gone through a lot. Nobody wanted to help her. She went through rejection. So it will look like, oh, it looks like what I'm going through right now. Nobody seems to be getting me. And that person can find the wings to fight on, right? So sharing how far you've come, how you started, the challenges you had, and how you have been able to win. Sorry. is very, very important. See, I nearly lost my camera right now. It's very, very important. Now, we are talking about strategies on how you can share your story, right? Now, that's number one. Number two, remember I said I'm sharing from something that I read. I'm trying to even find it. Okay, so I'm with you guys. Okay, so number one, I said share how far you've come. Number two, show them how you solve problems, right? So as a publisher myself who help people get their book done, like we at Logos Audibles, which is my company, we get books done for leaders and entrepreneurs, busy executives, and we don't have to, we solve the problem of timing. Like they don't need to craft a particular time or try to write and then try to get whether their writing skill is good or not and all that. We solve all of that problem for them. Now, when you're able to say how you started, that for me, I started first because I was at the point where I'm like, a lot of clients are asking for this service. Why am I focusing on just editing and proofreading? I focused my company for over almost 15 years on just providing editing and proofreading services. And I had a lot of people who over that time have always said, oh, so what about cover design? So what about this? What about helping me to do this? Oh, I can't even find the time to write to be able to send you the work to edit. So I'm like, okay, so why are we not doing that? I mean, we have all of these people, we have a lot of editors, writers. I have an academy training editors, and we're churning out editors every other day, every other year. So why can't we deploy them to be busy all year round by helping people tell their story, get it out of them, and then transcribe, get all that done and just deliver their book to them as long as they pay, right? So we decided to refocus and pivot to helping people who can afford to get that solution 360 done. Now, why I started that is just what I told you now. So telling those kind of stories connect with people. Yeah. Now, like you hear somebody say something like, I struggled a lot with managing my time. So that's why I created maybe this template that will help you and help other people to avoid making the same mistakes, trying to help people to not lose out on things that they're supposed to get because of poor time management. So there's always a story behind people starting stuff. When I used to do actively men programs, people used to ask me why, right? Even from when I was a single woman. And I said, because I see that a lot of homes are breaking. And most of the time, most of the men I interviewed personally are not always aware at what point their home started breaking apart. Really, most of them were clueless about what it was that was wrong. So I said, okay, then there is no system I saw that was helping men to learn, because if you say this person or this gender is the leader of home, who gives the person the leadership training? Why do you blame them when things break up? Who is, and are they even really willing to learn? So I had to go all through that route of trying to, research and find out why men think the way they do, most of them. And that was what bettered the Men Code movement. And if you don't know, I have a channel called the Men Code Movement here on YouTube. Please, if you're a man, go follow the Men Code Movement. Yes, you can find it also with Chisomaka TV, because that's the handle right here on YouTube. Go there and we have over 200 videos to blow your mind. Now, when I started it, my why was, I have seen a lot of clueless men who wish that somebody could guide them, or they had the courage to open up to ask for advice at the point that maybe they were getting married, or at the point that we're having crisis in their marriage. That way maybe they could have saved the situation. And I felt, why not? Why don't you provide a safe space where men can learn without judgment? Because there are a lot of expectation on genders generally, a lot of expectation on men, a lot of expectation on women. It should be this way, that way, that way. And some of those expectations are the reason why things are going south, really. But providing the solution is what I started with. So this thing I'm saying is connecting you to, oh, okay, really? So she has this passion for men and all that. Yes, I do. Okay. So you have to show how you solve problems. Relate your story to your audience pain point. Men who are tired or who really need help, even though they may not be able to ask for help, is the reason I started the Men Code movement, right? Now, another way you can craft powerful stories, I've talked about the first one, you have to share how far you have gone. The second one is have to show how you solve your problems. Tell them as stories. Also, use your stories and share them across different platforms. You have to show that you can embed stories into your business pitches, into your social media marketing, into your website. See, everywhere your story has to resonate. A brand that has a why, a story behind it. I remember the first time I was flying in between cities in Nigeria, and then we were served on the aircraft a particular lemonade, and the lemonade had the story of how it came about. A woman who was a grandma who formulated the recipe and how her children has carried on her legacy. I can't forget. I also remember one time they served us, and it's always in the flight I see those kind of products. I really looked, because I came down to look for it. I couldn't find it like that. And then I saw another product. It's a yogurt brand made somewhere in just Nigeria, and they talked about that they wrote the copy on the product label like it was a cow's, where the milk came from that was writing. So the cows were talking about how they are very excited to share their milk with us, that kind of thing. Very, very, very intuitive and very creative as well. So you have to share your stories across your platforms, your website. So the why you started your business, why you started these services has to be explicit. And I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to myself because remember, I said this is something I have struggled with. Okay, so you have to show. Right. For instance, I started my editing business school. Meanwhile, we're starting the next cohort of editors business school in March. About the registrations are starting this December from the 25th. That's Christmas Day. You can begin to register. Ask me in the comment section if you're interested. If you want to build an editing platform, an editing agency, right? You want to start a business. I have the program, 90 days program, certificate program that you can enroll, right? So why did I start that program in 2018? I started because I knew how frustrating it was trying to find, mentor organizations to look at how to place my prices, checking out how to price, how to create my turnaround time, how to differentiate how to determine the level of editing that somebody's work needs. All of that were things that needed guidance. But by the time I started in 2009, I didn't really find an organization doing it in Nigeria. So I wanted to be the person that other people starting out will not be frustrated to get a guide. And that's how I started it. And that's why I created the Editors Business School. So you have to use this story. I always use this story across board, talking about the Editors Business School and why we do what we do, right? And on social media, you have to share what you're doing behind the scene, how you set up, how you do your thing. Also, testimonials from clients also is a powerful way to tell your story, right? Now let's go to the other part. I want to give you a challenge really in this part. Like, write a 3-paragraph story about your journey or your brand. These services that you're offering, what is your why? Craft a story using the tips I've just given you, right? Tell them how far you have come. Show them by writing how you solve the problem that you solve through your offerings, and also share the stories across platforms. Show your social media platforms and the stories embedded in them that will help people to buy from you. So include your pitch or your sales copy into the story of why you do what you do. Write at least a 3-paragraph and drop in the comment section. I can review it for you, or you send me an email at books.logosaudibles@gmail.com and we'll get back to you as well. Now, so write a 3-paragraph story. Focus it on what makes you unique, remember, which are your struggles. And in fact, that's another thing. The things that make you unique are the things that nobody else knows or has gone through. People might go through the sort of thing you've gone through, but they're not exactly like yours, right? So your struggles and how you help your audience is part of the story that you need to include in your story, right? Now, another thing is practical. You have to choose a platform that you want to major on 2025. For me, I chosen YouTube. That's why I'm going live every day. That's why I'm here. I'm using my community tab to write my text. I'm using my community tab as well to share my pictures. I'm using my shorts platform to share short videos. I'm using my community center to do polls. I'm using my live stream effectively. I'm using my log form video, because I have it all on YouTube. And that's where I want to build my brand for now, even though I've been building on Facebook for years, more than 15 years, right? But this is where I want to be now, and that's what I'm doing. So every other post on other platforms are just extra. When I have the time, I syndicate them there. Okay, so choose the platform that you want to focus on, right, to share your story, that story you're writing right now. Tag or message few of the people that you know will like to connect with your narrative. Tag them when you're posting that story, and it will make all the difference. And I'm doing the same exercise with you. Remember that this is my own exercise I decided to share, right? Okay, now if you have any question about storytelling and how you can work around it, this is your time to ask, right? This is your time to ask a question. Remember that stories make your brand relatable, right? Tomorrow we're going to be talking about something very important, which is how to budget smartly. There's something I don't want to miss out in the new year, taking down every expenses that I make. I want to be able to give myself a record of how much I'm spending every month, and it's something I wanted to come along and do. But tomorrow we're going to talk about how I intend to budget. So if you're interested, come along and let's talk about how to budget smartly. I've done a long form video on it as well, but I want us to just break it down and talk, like we do on the live. Okay, so let's talk. Any questions? Now, you look at brands like Nike, right? They all have slogans. So when you're telling your story, you'll be able to come out with something that jumps out that your audience will want to pick up immediately they encounter your brand. Go ahead and write it. Like Nike says, just do it. Like Logos Audibles, we say amplifying your thoughts correctly. So what is your brand logo? So while you're writing this story, have that at the back of your mind and try to come up with a slogan or something that people will always remember, right? Remember that when you're writing your story, write from how you started, that is your journey so far, what you've been through, challenges and all that. Then struggle, what has been the struggle like that made you to come up with the solution. So the next thing is for you to start how you started, what struggles you faced, and the solution to that struggle that you're using to help other people, and your success story, right? 4 different stages to create a powerful story. Okay. And when you're done, you need to share it with everybody. So you can go to like your favorite platform and ask, do you know how to use your story to sell? For instance, you can now invite them to join you. Maybe say something like, join me today or tomorrow for actionable tips. So you can also share your story. You can even use a poll, like what is the hardest part of storytelling? Is it the aspect of writing it or sharing it, or the part of knowing what to say? So you can also interact and get to know, and you can use that to promote your story, and also have like a live session like this to discuss it if you want. Every platform has a live stream, like LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. That if YouTube is not your thing, fine. Yeah. So let's do that. I'm waiting if there's any question. Alexis, welcome to the live stream. Thank you. Use your stories on social media. Use your stories when you're trying to convince people to buy from you, making pitches. Use it on your website. Very, very, very important. See, if you're African or you're watching me, any part of Africa, please get your website done in 2025. Yes. A lot of us are ignoring websites and just using social media to sell. It helps your brand. It helps you have everything in one place as well. And it helps you to be easily discovered. Please, if you're African listening to me, take your website marketing seriously in 2025. Yes, it's one place that your story needs to shine. It really, really needs to shine. When you're writing your about me on your website, please don't make it boring. Don't write all of those, all those straight-jacketed talk. Let your story be part of what, make your about me in your or about us or about me on your website, something that is compelling. Use your story and then share. Just like I've told you, start how you started, the struggle you had, the solution you have birthed, and your success story, right? Make sure that, oh, that is so amazing. So I'm waiting for any questions, or if are you going to do the exercise I gave you? Let me know as well. I will always be here in the comments, written out for you, waiting to answer you, even if I go offline right now. Please do well to join us tomorrow, where we're talking about budgeting, and so they can share with me how you budget, how you plan to manage your income next year. And we can, we can rub minds. 10 p.m. same time tomorrow. Okay. All right, that's it for now. So go tell your story. 3 paragraphs, write them, come up with a slogan, share them across your platforms. If you want me to add a few thoughts to it, put it in the comment section and I will look out for it and I will help you fine tune it. And let's, by all means, make more money next year. All right, cheers. Bye.